Texas makes a major offer to help the Trump administration's plans for mass deportations.
So we said if there's something we can do to help, we sure want to do that.
We look at how land in South Texas could boost the plan and why border security measures are ramping up even as crossings slow down. State lawmakers get a call to action to fight dementia in Texas. A key part of the battle could come from a research institute based on a model that's already seen success in Texas. The high costs of college can be a struggle for many students.
Many of my friends, they're taking out loans, they're worried about student debt.
How moves from the governor and the UT system could provide some relief.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Border crossings are the lowest they've been in years, and state leaders expect more border enforcement with the next Trump administration. But Texas is not scaling back on the border. State forces continue to train and fortify barriers along the Rio Grande. As Ryan Chandler shows us, it all comes as Texas makes a big offer to help the Trump administration with potential mass deportations.
Starr County in the spotlight for Trump's mass deportation push. Texas is offering a newly acquired plot of land to his administration. 1,400 acres that state leaders say is ripe for a deportation facility.
We think the removal of violent criminals that have been hurting our sons and daughters is key to the safety and the prosperity of our country, and it's been tolerated way too long. We have this property. Should the federal government need it for a detention and deportation center, we are, again, happy to get into an agreement with them and be helpful any way we can.
Texas troops also training for what Governor Abbott calls potential mass migration. They say migrants may try to enter the country before the new president's administration is expected to implement much stricter procedures come January.
There's no downside in a secure border, but you're not going to have a secure border if you don't have consequences.
And just Wednesday, Governor Abbott is touting new buoy barriers put in the Rio Grande, meant to discourage and redirect migrants attempting to walk across. And the state legislature looking to go farther. Some border security bills already filed look to push the limits of state authority, establishing a Texas Department of Homeland Security and authorizing DPS to deport migrants, similar to measures challenged under the Biden administration. But with Trump coming into power yet again, Texas is taking a stronger stance, expecting an ally, not an adversary, in Washington. Ryan Chandler, State of Texas.
For perspective, the land that Texas is offering to the Trump administration is in Starr County. That is west of McAllen and southeast of Laredo. Sandra Sanchez has been covering the developments with this land almost a month ago. We actually had a conversation right here on this show about this piece of land in Starr County. Remind us why the state bought it in the first place.
Right. Well, the Texas General Land Office bought the land because they said that it was an area where women and children were especially being trafficked. And they said there were allegations of sexual assault and abuses of these migrants. They had tried to approach the previous landowner and ask for an easement to put a border wall up, and the landowner was not amenable, so they just bought the land outright. We still don't know exactly for how much.
What's been the reaction from the Trump administration so far when it comes to the state's offer?
Well, Tom Homan, the incoming border czar, did indicate to Fox News that they were happy to receive the gift, and that's all that was said. But I can tell you this, that Homan is actually coming to the Rio Grande Valley on Tuesday with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. They're going to present holiday meals to troops, National Guard troops, and in Edinburgh and in Eagle Pass. That same day, Texas General Land Commissioner Don Buckingham is actually going to be at the ranch, and I'm going to be one of the reporters out there. So I'm suspecting that these forces are going to converge. We may see Homan at the ranch, and I kind of expect we're going to get an announcement there.
You also spoke with Commissioner Buckingham earlier this week. What did she tell you about this whole thing?
Right. She said that she and her staff put her heads together after they purchased the land, after they recognized that President-elect Donald Trump had made promises for deportations, mass detention stagings, and they said, hey, she is in charge of over 13 million acres of state-owned land throughout Texas. what can we do to help? And actually, she told me that last week, her staff went out with Border Patrol agents looking at various parcels that the state of Texas owns and seeing which ones could actually help the federal government in this mission and this promise of theirs. Keep in mind, there was another parcel of land that got purchased in West Texas in the county of Brewster near Marathon. It's a smaller piece of riverfront property, but I specifically asked her, would they be considering also gifting that? She said pretty much nothing's off the table. Whatever the federal government can use and wants, they are, quote, happy to be partners.
You've also been speaking with immigrant rights groups who are raising concerns about the state's offer. What are they saying to you?
Yeah, they really feel that these deportation plans, which will require several days, if not weeks, if not months of detention prior, as the migrants get processed, as the home countries agree to accept them. We don't know how long people could be waiting in these facilities. Migrant advocacy groups say this is basically child separation, family separation 2.0, that, this would be a repeat of what happened before. It's a different way of separating families, but if you have a father who's being taken away and a child is left, it in essence is family separation. As you know, the ACLU filed a lawsuit to try to get more information from the Trump administration on what their plans are. We still don't know.
All right, Sandra Sanchez with Border Report. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
State leaders approved new materials that could bring Bible stories into Texas classrooms. The controversy, the decision, and what it could mean for the future of public schools. Millions of dollars fuel new efforts to fight cancer. We sit down with the CEO of the state's Cancer Prevention and Research Institute, looking at the progress happening now in Texas toward prevention and cures.